Welcome back. We need to present proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. And I was gonna press and show you who I was on about. Alright, that's not fair. It's Eggert Benedict anyway, but the way we do that is present the blood samples portfolio.
Take that!
The proof is right here, in this portfolio. Good gracious, Counsel. Does that portfolio contain the answers to every question posed? Why, yes. I see you share my interest in claret-colored liquids, my Nipponese friend. But enough. The court demands to see further evidence. Which blood sample proves the man you identified was the one shot with the third bullet at the scene of the crime? Well, that proved who it was, so, it's gotta be that one.
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windybanks, which is when the aforementioned Eggert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no? And that's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. But of course, here's the disc for you. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc is mine. Whoa! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Being a music block disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a blood stain, is it? My assistant and I have just analysed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom, using my trusty Fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green. It's exactly the same colour as the blood around the calendar. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Eggert Benedict, who was in Windybanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. Oh, right. So there was someone else there. Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets. Oi! Who are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Eggert Benedict should be summoned to the court to testify. Yes. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona, Baba, in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. Yes, I'm just quite tired. So the blood stain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to your successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Boat. And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Oh, yes, you're quite right. Is he right? Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Schloem's invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. In other words, still ongoing. The examination isn't over yet, is it? Good grief. What did you just say, young girl? In a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite the devious mind. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Bruno. Is that about right? Would you say? Did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable. Mr. Schloem's partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After that shrewd precis of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I am sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decision in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty!
Not guilty.
That's done it. 2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection!
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zykes, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Oh. And such. Continue. I've got a luncheon. Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? The name of the gentleman gave himself, Eggert Benedict, is quite clearly false. I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night. Could I say something? Who was that, please? Who spoke? It was me, my lord. Juror number 5. What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector... me, ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again. The one in which the gentleman is shown. Oh, right, yes. This one you mean? Mr. Benedict? Yes. There's no doubt in my mind. Juror number 5, you don't mean to say... You know this man? Yes, I know him. Good gracious. Oh my, it's quite turn up, please. Juror number 5. How on earth? I'm a communications officer. Stop. As we can clearly see. The gentleman in the photographic print is... Stop. Also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop. Very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I don't want my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. Suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. Perhaps that's why I felt something was wrong. Nah. The gentleman is at London's communication station. We should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zykes, if you please. Yes, my lord. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. To be continued. Oh my. Oh, come on. No! 17th of April, 12:41 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Gina, how are you holding up? Starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny, are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, eh? I go all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me. What? You saw it, that picture. What picture? You mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder? Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they? Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you've got to have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. Of course I can. Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? Munoz cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you. It's like, why aren't you telling us what happened? Alright then. It's after we'd had the dinner together at your place, right, Iris? No, we had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yes, I remember. After that, just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down the street to a 2-to-1. Windybank's place. I had to know if Iris' story was there or not. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Don't know what it's all about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in it that Shlomes doesn't like. Something what he don't want people reading. That's why he lied to Iris about sticking it in the lug with Windybank for safekeeping. Lug works. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Luggage. So you broke into Windybank's? I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea or that was going to kick off, did I? I struck the lock and snuck in. It was dark as you like in there. There's nothing in the door from what I can see. Like this panel is bothering me. Because no one's mentioned it, even though it's obvious. So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of wick. And that's when. What do you think you're doing? Well, I nearly died, I did. Next thing I knew. I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like, I don't know what. you're the girl who was here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went for armed robbery. The mantle scope. Have you got it here? Did Sholmes leave a load of papers with you? A story? I beg your pardon? How do they, something or other. If it's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. But I do it anyway, I just want to see it's here, that's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I don't know if Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go. Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? Okay, it's not defense or anything like that. So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. It was there, alright. The mantle script. Sholmes weren't lying after all. Did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway. Then there was a bit of a kick-up in the main bit of the shop. Scorpion Brothers arriving on the scene, yes. What was that noise? Someone's breaking in. Dear me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about? I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry. I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back? Oh, well, I'll come with you and, Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. And with that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom, like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. Sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. Started to think I should help, see? I was just about to go out of the storeroom myself, when... 2 shots. I heard a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there he was, right at my feet, laying face down on the floor. Right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like. Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windybank might come for you. Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. Figured I'd put up a fight at least. When I got a better look at him, I knew. Windybank was a goner. So you fainted. Felt funny in my head all of a sudden. Kinda dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. It must be when you passed out, Gina. If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old Curb might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did. They didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was, kept telling lies and made things even worse for me. It'll be alright, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Runa's about to put the real culprit through the mill. That cove was there in the afternoon. That Eggert Benedict. Still remember how he looked at me like it was nothing. He was there that night. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what? You can leave it all in Runa's capable hands now, Ginny. Mr. Naraoda. Yes? How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Well, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGill did. Told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bog trot off with him. And you got the bog trot off with him. Alright. Even though he was a killer. Or was he? No, I can never forget that. Oh. Did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? Could be working to get another killer off the York, for all you know. I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. Mata. And strange as it may sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it. Oh, Runo. There was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Ryu, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest. I was so happy. I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had absolute, unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute, unwavering belief in him. Since then, I've come to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina, no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. You don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Even though I'm a diver, and a no-good liar. You're not like McGilded. I know that. Eh? That's right. You're our friend, Ginny. Iris? I know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust. Yes. That's really all we need to know. Exactly. Mr. Naraodo, Sniffle. Aww. Defender Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head into the courtroom immediately. Yes, of course. Thank you. Here we go. I had been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last. Final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Suzuto-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner. Cocks of the game, everyone. 17th of April, 1:41 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, yes, I got a lovely drink, yes, quite nice. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Zykes, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station, where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's crisis with the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. Very big mistake. My lord, a subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Eggert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon. It's certainly not like this. Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir. But of course, my lord, as an upstanding member of the London Society, it is my pleasure to oblige. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Do we have another Graydon anywhere? Nothing. Okay. Mr. Graydon and I both work at London's Central Communications Station. Now, perhaps somebody would be kindly explain what all this is about. You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume? Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street? And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question? And that is the accusation, indeed. This really is beyond a joke, you know. Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath. Gladly, my lord. Gladly. Witness testimony. The accusation. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. No intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation if certain parties here present and my blood was found at the scene. Would he have been told that, though? Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed picture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. So, you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I'm dismayed. But the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. Just some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. Might have to press on all of everything. It's like, I've got a few things towards the end, like, even if certain parties here, like, I'm not sure, like, how would he know about this? Like, surely they wouldn't go into, like, great depths of detail to explain to him how we figured out he was there. Surely they wouldn't. Like, that would be a real misstep by the police to, like, inform him of how they, like, decided he was there. It's like, because then you could think of a way of getting around it. It's like, that would be very, very foolish. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here? If, following the defense's cross-examination, involvement in this matter has not been established, you'll be free to leave immediately. Good. I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least. That does not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies. You are? Ryu Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so. Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So. Oh, a lovely hat. I trust we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do it. Or are you?